Today we're going to be talking about the shoulder. Why does it pop and click? Common shoulder problems, impacts on daily activities, and how can PT help? First of all, it's important to understand what the shoulder is. The shoulder is a true ball and socket joint, which means that you have a ball, you have a socket, which allows for motion. The shoulder is the most freely movable joint in the human body. It is the only joint in the body that can do true circumduction and go around and around in a true circle. But because of this extra motion, it's more prone to injury and more prone to instability. Why is it clicking? Why is it popping? Three things cause clicking and popping in the body that usually results in no pain whatsoever. It's either fluid that comes from the actual synovial joint, or it comes from lubrication that's naturally in the joint. It's also gas. Your body has gas all over it. Not the gas that you would think, but gas within the shoulder that's supposed to be there. When you move the joint, it opens up, creates an audible pop that's just gas releasing. It could also be two tendons. Two tendons that slide over each other that just create an audible pop. One thing to cover is the rotator cuff. What it is it's four muscles that actually share the same tendon. And they're easy to remember because they follow this acronym. S-I-T-S. Okay? They're labeled as the sits muscles. Okay? It's the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, subscapularis, and teres minor. Okay? Together they all work on rotating the shoulder. And they can either rotate it internally or they can rotate it externally. Common shoulder problems, impingement syndrome. Impingement syndrome is something that we see very commonly. And what it is something that happens a lot with overhead movement and overhead athletes. And there's a tendon that runs right through this area here. When we put our arm up in space like this, the tendon sometimes gets pinched off, either by overuse or by just anatomical structures such as the clavicle or the scapula that comes across and creates a little narrowing. So over time it creates a sawtooth action against that tendon and causes inflammation and causes irritation. Another common problem we see is rotator cuff tendinitis. And again, especially in baseball pitchers, swimmers that do this motion a lot, or this motion down here, it creates a lot of wear and tear on the rotator cuff and those rotational muscles. They just get overworked, they get inflamed, and they need a good program in order to calm them down and to get back to functional movements. Frozen shoulder, also called adhesive capsulitis, is what happens when the joint itself, that ball and socket joint, actually gets frozen. And the ball actually gets stuck in the socket and all of a sudden it can't move. Okay? That needs very skilled professional help in order to break up those adhesions and get that range of motion going again in a safe and controlled way, so that way people can get back to a full range of motion and get fully functional with their shoulders again. All are very common shoulder problems and things that we deal with every day. The way to correct them is it all starts with a professional evaluation. Let us take a look at your shoulder and see what impairments that you have so that we can know how to properly help you. This can let you get back to things such as taking care of your children, picking up babies, holding toddlers, throwing, any type of overhead movement that you might be having issues with. Call or click the link below so that we can start helping you today.